best season 2 builds of NHL 25 World of Chell. The first one we have here is a PMD at 6 foot 160. Gold stick 'em up, silver shutdown, silver 1T, discipline IQ and booming hits. You can make a change from 1T to tape or send it depending on what type of looks. If you don't typically go for 1Ts a lot at the point, and you just rather have a more solid pass or any other trait that you want to have, I think this is the only trait that you'd probably want to change. This is more LG PMD build kind of related, so that's why truculence is not being used. You guys see the point values: speed, agility, acceleration, puck control are all high. Endurance 88. You're a defenseman. If you feel yourself lacking in endurance, you could always take some points off of puck control. I think it's very solid to have up. Do the play style, I got very high defense awareness, different than I think the starting build guide that I had in terms of the PMD. 80 body checking, 84 stick checking, pretty high passing, hand-eye strength are up. You guys see the point values there. It's a pretty much a mix of offense and defense. Very solid lockdown, quick build that can shoot from the point. The next one here is a playmaker center. So 6 foot 160. Again, you can actually go 6 foot 1 if you want. I just go 6 foot. See a lot of esports guys at the high level using 6 foot, so this might be a hidden like gem here to go 6 foot instead of 6'1", but I guess that's all preference for you. Puck on a string, gold or silver close quarters, silver shutdown, discipline IQ, booming hits. Again, you see a lot of the same point values pretty much remain the same. 84 defense awareness, 92 offense awareness. You can tweak these values a little bit if you feel like you're lacking in one area over the other. Again, pretty high passing, high hand-eye strength, 90 face-offs, 86 deking. That with puck on a string, could be able to move the puck very well with this build. Again, a good combination of offense and defense, which is what you need for a centerman. The next one here is kind of a little bit more of a bulkier, I guess you can use this as a center or as a defenseman if you want. So it's kind of a mix. You could always tweak some of the traits as well to fit your needs, depending on where you're trying to, or where you're trying to use this build. But again, 6 foot. Now this time you're at 180. Gold stick 'em up. Silver 1T, silver shutdown, positional IQ, and agile deking. So we have pretty high deking for a two-way defenseman build. Again, this is more of like if you're going to play center, but you can change this if you're going to shoot from the point. If you're going to play defense, you can obviously tweak some of this, change the deking, maybe switch out a boost if you're going to apply a lot of points back into your deking. So you don't really need the boost. You can always change that. And again, 93 speed, agility, excel, 88 puck control, 87 endurance. You can always tweak that. Maybe lower some of the puck control if you want, or maybe the slap shot power for more higher endurance, or you can just manage the stamina in the game. High passing, high offensive awareness, high body checking. So again, it just goes more, combines more with the bulkier size build. Pretty high defense awareness, 88, stick checking 82, but you got gold stick 'em up to counter it, so very good play style. High hand-eye strength, durability is pretty high. Pretty much everything's in the 80s here with tenacity, as we get more points into that category too. And then again, you can tweak this as you see fit, but a pretty good, more bulkier size build that can pretty much play any position besides winger, I would say. Now this one is a puck moving defenseman, but it is a winger build. So again, 6 foot 160. This time, if you wanted to use gold tape to tape, this one does not have puck on a string. So if you are more of a tape to tape guy, you can use this on wing if you want, if you're playing that. You got silver close quarters, 1T offensive threat, booming slapper. You see the 94 with the speed and excel, 95 agility, high puck control, high endurance. You got really high with the offensive ratings. Pretty good with the defense as well, in the low 80s as well, so that's good for a winger. Again, you see the fit here. Now if you're a right winger, you're taking a lot of face-offs at center on the PK for your team in sixes, then you could always tweak the face-offs a little bit more, or you just find a nice solid rating for you. 80 I guess is a good starting point to see if it works. Then you can kind of adjust from there. Even take some of the points away from deking, apply agile deking, so that you can have more points for your face-off if that's what you want to raise. Sticking with another winger build, a playmaker winger. This is if you want to use puck on a string now. You would switch back to playmaker. Again, 6 foot 160. Close quarters at 1T. Agile deking, offensive threat. And this one, a little bit lackluster in terms of the playstyle compared to the PMD, but it's still pretty solid. Very high deking, very high face-offs. You could use this as a center too if you want. But it's just a little bit of a different combo to the PMD at wing. You can use this as wing as too, or you can use this on the wing as well, or as center if you wish. So next we have is Dangler. Dangler is something that has been used a lot more this year because of the higher deking, the puck on a string, and the points not being too much of a hindrance to your playstyle. I wouldn't say it's as good as the Playmaker, but you see the same combo. I got positional IQ, controlled passing, pretty high puck control and endurance. The playstyle does take a hit compared to the Playmaker, and it does definitely take a hit compared to the PMD. So you kind of use this as you see fit, use this as a center, use this as a winger as well. If it was me, I would use this more of a winger, just because you have pretty high deking. You can have, you know, pretty high face-offs if you're a wing on the PK and you're taking it over your center. But it's just not as good as the Playmaker in terms of being able to accommodate your playstyle, so it won't be as strong. But these points are not too crazily like lower, so it's kind of just up to you. Next one we got here, it's kind of a mix. You could use this 3s or 6s at the point if you want to have gold 1T and then experiment with that. Offensive defenseman, 6 foot, you're at 180. You can't really go any lower than that. Shut down, stick them up. Controlled passing, positional IQ, 93 speed, excel agility, high puck control, endurance, 90 defense awareness. But you see how your defense takes a hit. It's like worse than the PMD, worse than the, I mean, it's almost worse than the Playmaker too. But it does have pretty high, or it's actually around the Playmaker, I would say. But it does have a few extra points into the defense awareness, with still having high passing. So that's always good. You could always switch out one of these for take the tip if you want as well. But the only use for this would be to have 1T on at the point if you wanted that, while still trying to at least be able to play defense in your own zone. Good hand-eye, good strength, good discipline, good deking. I mean, it's kind of low to really be honest. You could switch out one of these. Kind of tough to really take away from either one unless you wanted to have lower passing, I would say, to have higher deking in this category. But 83, even though it is on the low end, it's not really much in terms of controlling the puck or really being a solid lockdown player, but it is a guy that can shoot for the point. So if you're a guy that wants to do that and you have really good players around you that can help you play defense, then it's a pretty solid build to be able to be effective at the point. The last one we have is a sniper. Now, I'm trying to think more so on just being as quick as possible with this build, being as much of a threat offensively as you can. So 5'7" I'm at with this, 160. You can even raise this to 6 foot or 6'1" if you want, if you wanted to still keep the same height. But 95 speed, excel, agility's at 96. You got gold 1T, silver close quarters, puck on a string, and that's with 88 deking as well. So it's pretty good, solid there. Controlled passing, controlled deking to accommodate for that. 90 puck control, 88 endurance. You can tweak this if you want. Put a couple extra points back into your endurance. Yeah, so I actually didn't apply the extra points there. So we have 90 with our puck control and endurance. So not an issue there. Obviously having mid 80s, slightly above, with both the wrist shot and the slap shot, which is solid, but you combine these shooting traits along with it, it's gonna, you know, make that shot even way more, you know, even more powerful. So it's not gonna be an issue there. You could max out, you know, if you really wanted to up one of these into the 90s or something, if you want to have your 1T be really powerful. But I just don't think that's necessary because of how much they buffed the 1T in and of itself. Having a gold 1T with mid 80s, you can still blast the puck. I mean, I can do it with a PMD that has silver 1T, and you're talking about 70s or something with the slap shot accuracy and power, and I'm still dinging 1Ts from the point. So mid 80s with a gold 1T, you're gonna be very powerful. I mean, just having gold 1T in and of itself, a really bad shot is still gonna counter effect it and make it very effective still. This one's more of a winger build. So if I could have the 90 face-off, you can. I wouldn't recommend playing center. I just don't think it's that type of build to play defense. So more of a winger build here. But yeah, those are the builds for Season 2. We'll see what changes they make for Season 3. Got some more gameplay videos coming for you guys soon. I think I got some extra points here, actually. One more extra point that I didn't actually see. But we had power and tenacity. This one, I'm gonna make a guess that the playstyle is gonna get something for Season 3. That's gonna be my guess. But let me know what you guys think of the builds in the comments down below. I'll catch you guys next time.